to Benevolence, where kindness matters and all are welcome to the table. I'm your host, Ceci Diaz, and first and foremost, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in, spreading the word, rating, subscribing, praying, and supporting me on this journey. So make sure to keep tuning in because I know that you are going to leave empowered, blessed, and encouraged to be the best version of yourself. You are tuning into episode 4, Friend Zone. Now, friend zone is not what you think. We won't be talking about being friend zoned by a guy or a girl. On this episode of Benevolence, we will be discussing various topics in regards to friendships, how to find long-lasting friendships, what are the qualities of a good friend, and a not so good friend, and other important related topics. And on this episode, I brought someone who is the true definition of a best friend. We've been best friends for 11 years. We've basically been through the good, the bad, and the ugly together. She's an amazing and beautiful person inside and out, and I am so grateful to have her in my life. So without further ado, we have the one and only Janeesha Ilarraza joining me at the table today. Hey, girl.
Hey, Ceci.
Nee, thank you so much for joining me on the table on another episode of Benevolence. So I was kind of like looking back at season 1, and you showed up for episode 4, and you're showing up again for episode 4. So it works out. It's like perfect. And last time we talked about God's plan in regards to singleness. And I brought you again today because we're talking about friendships, and we're on the week of Thanksgiving, and I think that is a great topic to talk about because if there's one thing that I'm thankful for is for you, and I'm thankful for everybody. You know, you're thankful for your friends, thankful for but like I brought you because you are like top of the line. What I'm grateful for, you know, because honestly, like if I didn't have you in my life, like it would be very different.
Same.
Absolutely. Like it would just be very different. My life would be very different. So before we begin, I'd like for you to tell our listeners and a little bit about yourself. You know, just your name, what you do, you know, you're at church, whatever, you know, stuff, your basic stuff. But before we begin, before you introduce yourself, guys, I am so sorry that I'm sick. Orlando has been, go ahead, cough.
I was trying to open. Okay.
Are you the one sick or am I the one sick?
I'm sick too. I was sick.
Okay, so Orlando has been hit with this cold front. And, like, I've been sick for a week now. But I started to get better because I was taking medicine. But this cold front,
I know.
like, it just made it worse. So now I have a congestion, and it's just so please, I apologize for my nasal, you know, and if Nisha coughs, we'll just leave it. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. All right, so go ahead, Nisha. Just say what's up to our listeners.
Okay. Hi, Benevolence people. My name is Janeesha. Everybody calls me Nisha. I am one of the worship leaders at Calvary City Church.
Yeah.
And I am currently in Bible Institute. I'm working on getting my credentials. I am also working on finishing my psychology degree. And me and Ceci have been best friends for 11 years, and I love her so much, and it's such an honor to be here. I'm so proud of you and what you're doing.
Thank you.
It's changing so many lives. I actually have had testimonials come to me, like people coming to me of how much Benevolence has impacted them. So I'm super proud of you, and I love you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love you, girl. Thank you, Nisha. Well, let's go ahead and let's get started. Before we start answering questions and giving some friendship advice to our listeners, I'd like for you and I to discuss a little bit about how we met. And it's funny.
It's hilarious.
It's because it's not what you think. A lot of people think, oh my God,
it was like a walk in the park.
A walk in the park. Butterflies and rainbows and, you know, whatever. But that's not the case, guys. That's not the case. So you go ahead and give like your 2 cents.
Okay.
You start, and then I'll just like go back and forth. Go.
Okay, so the first time I ever saw Ceci was when Pastor Ruben became our worship pastor at our church. And I just remember her coming in, and he introduced her, and I was like, oh, wow, she's so pretty, and she seemed super nice. I think you spoke. He told you to speak or something. He told you to say something, like just introduce yourself. And then I remember you introducing yourself. So, anyways, that was the first time I saw her. And then like after that, like she, you were hanging out with other people. Like you were hanging out with.
I was just
some people, we won't go into that. But that was the first. I just want to mention the first time I saw you.
Yeah.
And then come to find out, I didn't know everything that you went through at the time because I didn't know you. I know you were going through a lot.
Yeah.
I found that out after that. But I saw you, like I would see you here and there at church, and then Outcry came about. There was a group. We had a group at our church called Outcry. It was founded by our Master's Commission ministry that we had in our church, and Jonathan. Okay, I don't know if I can say this.
Okay.
Okay.
If he's listening, we love you, bro.
Yeah, I love you, Jonathan. Jonathan, he wanted to do a group, and he had some people in mind. He actually invited us to be a part of that. And I remember the first encounter, like first meeting we had. We were discussing about Outcry, what's it all about, what do we want to do for that. And I met you there. I thought you were, I never had a problem with you ever. I thought you were, cool. Like, I don't like me when I look at somebody or like, I don't know somebody, I wouldn't like assume something about them. Yeah. That's just not me. So I thought you were cool, and then I got to know you. But I think you should say what you thought of me. Because I feel like because me, it was just like, I didn't assume anything from you. I would hear stories here and there about you. Yeah. But I wouldn't like assume, I didn't like, I wasn't like the type of person that was like, oh wow, she's this, she's that. Like, no. Yeah. I just thought, I didn't know you, so I just thought you were, cool. Okay,
thanks.
So you say what you thought about me.
So here's my side of the story. I came to Orlando from Miami in 2005.
Oh my gosh.
And like, I got into a really big mess when I got here. Yes. Instead of like just making friends and stuff, I just got into a really big mess. And it was, I think if you listen to season 1, episode 1 of Benevolence, you'll hear like my testimony in full. And you can hear some of the stuff that happened to me during that time. But I was like really rebellious during that time. And I didn't really want to make friends, but I wound up making friends anyway, but they were the wrong friends. And then Nisha was always in the worship team. She was singing. And like I had seen her because she was always singing in the worship team. And the funny thing is that I didn't like her.
Were you singing though?
No, I wasn't singing. Okay. No. It's just, it was like all the time. It was all the time. She was
with Omar though.
No, this was before Omar.
So this was me.
This was you and like that old crew of YX. Always singing, and like I don't know, like my first impression of her was not a good impression. Like I thought she was like
stuck up. You said
stuck up. She was like a little stuck up.
She was a little. You thought I was a little.
I thought she was stuck up. Okay, so we were young. Like I had just turned 18. Yeah,
I was 16.
Yeah, you were 16. Yeah. So I had just turned. No,
I was.
You were 15. Yeah. So I had just turned 18, and whatever. We're teenagers. Like, what do you expect? And I just didn't. I don't know. I didn't get a good vibe from Nisha, so I just stood away for a few years, and I went through my process, and I went through hell and high water.
But the thing you'll come to know with Ceci, it's like it comes with time. Like
it came with time.
Like with Ceci, like she'll see something. Not anymore. I feel like you're not like that anymore. But before, you would look at someone and you would assume something about them, and then you wouldn't want to like associate with them. Yes. But now you're not like that.
Yeah, because I just like at this point I'm just like whatever. I'm too old like to be caring about
exactly.
Assuming or whatever. Anyways, so after I went through all my whole process and I got delivered and sanctified and holified and all of that.
Okay.
Then I got involved I got back into church. Like the gist of church again. Mm-hmm. And I joined Outcry. And from there, we weren't tight. No. But we started to like converse and like go out,
and then we realized,
go out to eat.
Like it was just like a good vibe. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like, it was God. I think it was honestly God.
But believe it or not, during that time, you were still friends with your old friends.
Yes.
You were very, like, you still had your BFFs and stuff like that. Yeah. And then I had, like, the people that I was hanging out during that time, which were also, they were also part of Outcry. So it was like, then from there, our group started to, like, combine a little bit.
Yeah, and then Angelito.
Then we met Angelito.
And then he was like,
and then it was just always us three. And then from there...
So, to explain how we came about, it wasn't, like, boom. It was more
It wasn't boom.
It wasn't boom, boom.
Yeah, no. It was like definitely
gradually.
Not. It gradually happened
we would hit, because we would practice for Outcry.
We would sing or worship and
go out to eat.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it would be with everyone, and then all of a sudden, a smaller crew, and then it would just be us. Like, exactly. That's when it came to like
to like, like we hung out with so many different people, but at the end of the day, we remained always together. Always. So we've had a lot of different friends. We went through a lot of different like seasons of friends.
And when we say a lot, it's not necessarily like
a lot of friends.
It was just like different
there was a lot of seasons.
It was just seasons.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the same people, but for some reason,
but a lot of people were coming in and out.
Yeah, but it was always us.
Yes,
always.
And then there were moments where, you know, our friendship wasn't that good. No. And I'll talk about that later on.
You're going to talk about that.
I'm going to talk about it later on.
And I personally, you know, talking about this, it's like we don't really like talking about this because it was like not a really
I don't like talking
she
about
doesn't really like talking about it
because
all.
It was my bad. Yeah. It was my fault that our friendship had its downs. Yeah. It was definitely my fault. And I don't like talking about it because...
But we're going to have to talk about it.
No, we are. Because,
we'll talk about it later. But what we're saying is that she doesn't like talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't really mind talking about it because it kind of just that... It kind of brought us to where we are. I feel like...
No, it did.
It really brought us... And that's the great thing about, like, I don't know if it's grace in a sense because like I feel like God gave me grace, you know, to, you know, you'll hear about it.
Everybody's like, but tell me already. But so that's pretty much how we became friends.
And then we were just like,
and then we were inseparable the whole time. Like, the whole time. And it's been 11 years of friendship with Nisha, and she was my maid of honor when I got married in 2011. And when I had my baby in 2015, she is the godmother of Victoria. So
we're sisters.
Yeah, it's definitely turned into family with your brother as well and your parents and stuff like that. It's not even like it's like natural now. It's natural. It's not, for sure. You know. And the greatest thing is like we're not the best friends that like we talk every day. It's like. It's like, hey, what's up? You know, we'll see each other, say, hey, what's up? And then we'll hang out. But it's not like, it's because we're older. You know what I mean? We have our lives too.
But it's crazy, like...
But we always pick up where we left off. Always. It's never like, there's no awkwardness.
And it's not like we don't see each other, like never.
We see each other all the time. Every week.
So it's like, when she says that, it's like we see each other all the time that we don't even need to text. Like
we don't need to text.
Like we don't need to call each other because we're like with each other.
I'm like, I'll see you on Tuesday.
It's more like okay, I like you're going through so much during the week that you kind of maybe you forget to text each other.
Yeah,
but it doesn't affect us because we're
gonna see each other in a few days. Like that's just how it's always been with Nisha, and it's great. Because I feel like I don't have to work hard.
Yeah, you know, you never want to feel like that.
Yeah. And I guess we'll talk about more about that later. But yeah, that's how Nisha and I became best friends, and how we just became sisters.
We're like different. It's kind of it's hilarious how different. Well, no, we're not like extremely different, but we are different.
No, I feel that we are different.
Yeah, we are different, but we have similar.
We complement each other.
We like similar things, but we're different, and it's crazy how different we are and how much we connect with each other.
Yes.
So I think that's amazing.
I think so too. We're like, as we're telling you about our friendship, we're analyzing our friendship right now. We're having like a therapy session. So
we should talk about that.
What?
We should also talk about like, even though we were friends, like we've been friends for so long. Remember the whole thing when we went to Lakeland?
Yeah, we should
talk about that.
Yeah, we should
because
talk about that.
it you need that as a friend.
You do.
Okay. Okay.
We'll tell you guys. Okay, so speaking about therapy, speaking about all that, a recent Harvard study concluded that having solid friendships in our life helps promote brain health. Friends help us deal with stress, make better lifestyle choices that keep us strong and allow us to rebound from health issues and disease more quickly. But keep in mind that having not so good friends can also bring stress and habits that can affect you physically and emotionally. And that kind of like leads into what I want to talk about next. I believe that it's important that in every season of anyone's life, I feel that it's important to reflect upon, that word reflect is funny, but we need to reflect and we need to analyze our lives and see the friends that are around us. And you may be surprised about how many people around you aren't the right friends. Yeah. You know, and sometimes we become so blinded to that. And that goes on to like a little story of our friendship back to those not so great days. But I was also friends with other people. And the funny thing was that she has history with this particular group of people. And as time went on, she kind of stepped back from that group, and then I became part of that group, and it became like it was manipulative. It was definitely the downfall of our friendship in the midst of the 11 years, because I felt like I couldn't talk to Nisha, and I was kind of like being forced not to talk to her. And because of everybody else and how they were feeling about her, like I was literally being forced to not talk to her.
And you know me, like, yeah. So you know, like, who I am, what I'm about. So it's those people, you know, they were saying things to you, and like you knew me, and like it's crazy how toxic friendships can affect and the way you view someone. Exactly. So and it's because you know who I am. Yeah. You know how, like, I know what I can bring. Yeah. Everything. So, but it's crazy. Even you knowing who a person is, so like that, those toxic friends can like change your perspective on someone.
And that's what I mean. Like,
be careful.
Yeah, that's why.
And the reason I kind of left that group is because I felt that they were bringing the best in me. Yeah. So I took that step, and then not sadly, because I think these stuff are good. It's good because you grow from it. Exactly. You learn from your mistakes, but. She became part of that group. So it was like, I knew it was like in my mind, I'm like, see, like, you shouldn't hang out with them. But I couldn't force you to do anything. I didn't want to force you to do anything. And even though we still conversated, it was it wasn't the same because of that. It really like hurt me in a profound way. Because, hanging out with someone for so long, like, because we would hang out every day. Yeah. And then it just became like nothing. It really was, like, if there's any moment that, like, we always look back and we regret those times. Yeah. Like, I could do without that moment of that season of friendship with those particular people. Like, I could definitely do without that, without them, because it was stressful. It was stressful. It wasn't edifying. It was just always gossiping, and it was just always negative, and it became controlling, and it became very territorial, and it was like we didn't allow anyone else to get into that group, and it was sad. Yeah, okay, we felt like we belonged. It was like a gang, if you think about it, but it just wasn't a good feeling. I'll be honest. Yeah. I feel like I was being fake to everyone too. I wasn't being who I really was. And it was a sad moment. And that's when our friendship kind of like went down the drain a little bit. For a couple months.
Yeah. Because
for a whole summer.
No, it was like
the whole summer and
it was fall. Like a whole 6 months, because it included Christmas too. And it was like we just didn't talk anymore. Like, we would say hi. I'll never forget. And this is, guys, like, I'm being like mad real right now. I'll never forget when they did that event called A Night with the King. And you were in your blue dress, and you were sitting on the other side, and I was sitting over here. Yeah. and I just came by and I just said hi and I just left and went back. Yo, like, I was like, I couldn't believe that I was treating you that way.
Yeah. It wasn't you.
It wasn't me. But you remember that?
Yeah, and I never, like,
if you gotta cry.
I never, like, made you feel like you were doing something wrong, you know, like, because I knew it was not you, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was a really tough time for me because, you know, like, we were sisters, you know. So that was a really tough time for me.
Yeah, that was
sure. And, you know, even though, thank God gave me other people, like, He brought, and I feel like God does things like that. Like, you know, I had, you know, God brought some other friends in my life, and they, you know, they were there for me, and you know, it got me through. And, you know, it's crazy. You don't need friends to define you. You know what I mean? It's good to have relationships, and, you know, because they could encourage you. But, like, in that moment, like, I think God was trying to tell me, like, you don't need things. You don't need friends to define you, to be happy, you know. And you know, that's kind of how I, like, really got really close to God. I think I got even closer to God than ever in that time, because, you know, it just made me reevaluate things. Even though I, like, you know, I missed you, you know, but I had, you know, had all I needed at that time. It was hurt because I had God, you know. And God knew my heart. Like, I knew it was not you. Yeah, it wasn't you.
It was definitely not me. And because I couldn't believe that. I think I went to say hi to you, but that was it. There was nothing else. There was no more. And we had already had, like, history. This is when you had your blonde hair. And you were wearing, like, a blue dress or something. I remember. It was where they had that throne. They were giving out roses and stuff like that.
Little.
Yeah, in the old Peter. And it was just like, that was just such. After that moment, I think that's when everybody started to drop off.
What? I guess you probably told me already, but maybe they should know. Like, what was your defining moment? Like, what made you kind of stop hanging out with them and, like, realize, like, you know, the friendship that we had, you know, like, I kind of maybe explain, like, because, you know, you had that so much toxicness.
Like, I just felt like the decisions that we were making as friends was not good. Like, was not Christ-like. Like, we were doing things that wasn't good. Like, we would do things behind closed doors, and, you know, we'd come to church, and, like, we're all leaders. You know, we're all leaders in the youth group, and I just felt like, oh my God, like, what the heck? Like, we're doing bad things, you know what I mean? And, you know, I had a big part of it too. You know, I wasn't a saint, you know, but we weren't making the right decisions. It was very dramatic. Everything was just very, like, it was just not edifying my life at all. And I felt like I wasn't growing in God. I felt like I wasn't growing in life. And then things started to happen that they just started to slip away. And actually, something big happened. And, you know, from there, just life started to change again. But, Nisha, do you remember when we, like, started to reconcile again? Because I don't remember that.
I don't know when it was, but I do remember one time in like, your car. And I remember us both crying. Yeah. But I don't know if it was... I think it was that. I think it was... I was telling you how I felt. And then you were crying like I'm so sorry. Like, yeah. We had, like, that moment.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I remember, like, us in a car, and I was just telling you how I felt. And you didn't really like talking about it because you would literally cry. Because you knew, like how much it hurt me. And, like, even now, I mean, when I bring it up,
I don't like talking about it. You, like, because I know that I was the one that, like, hurt you. So I'm like, I don't know. I just don't like talking about it. But whatever. We're talking about it, you know, because the thing is that we want you guys, you listeners, to, like, learn from, like, our mistakes. We want you to have great friendships that, you know, that last a lifetime, that edify, that empower you, you know, and you know, there's going to be moments where you're going to have downfalls. There's going to be moments where your friendships are not going to be perfect. But you have to, like, always take time to just analyze your life and see if these friends are pushing you forward in life. And for me, I remember that they weren't. So the funny thing was, I don't remember if I prayed to God and asked him to take these friends away, or just to kind of like, I feel like I did ask him, like, take people away that don't want to fight. I feel like I did some sort of prayer, or maybe I got closer to God or something. And, like, I just felt like they were dropping like flies. Like, God was taking them out. So, you know, some questions that you may want to ask yourself are, do your friends place value on you as a person? Do they lift you up? Are your friends genuine? You know, because some people can be fake, and they could tell you one thing in your face. You'll have the time of your life, like, with them, but then they're probably talking a bunch of crap behind your back. Like, are they truly genuine? And do your friends empower you? Do they support your successes? Are they there for you during your failures? Because some people are just probably there when you're doing good, you know, and they want to be there when you're doing good. But then what about when you fail, when you're going through stuff? Yeah. Like, are they still there? Are they still around? So those are some questions you want to ask yourself when you're reflecting on your friendships and making sure that these people are empowering you to move forward. And, you know, I unfortunately, those friends at the time, I felt like they were my true friends, and they probably were, but it's just, it became like just too territorial. And then I remember I was going through a lot, that's why I kind of just stepped away from you for a time. And then I'm not quite sure where we picked it up again. Yeah. But I think we were able to like push everything aside. Yeah. And we were able to pick up where we left off. And, you know, from that, it's always been from that moment on out.
Because you would take a New Year's pick. Yeah. And I think New Year's.
It was New Year's?
I think New Year's. Or maybe before New Year's? Or was it
I don't know. I don't remember. But I just know we picked up where we left off. I apologized to her. And from then, we cried it out. And we just tried our best to reconcile and just forget about it and move on, you know? Yeah. So that's how our friendship kind of like, rekindled really itself. Yeah, and then from there, it flourished. Yeah. So what I want to do real quick is I want to answer some questions. I want you to answer some questions. And we'll just go back and forth. Okay. About friendships. And these are actually some questions that some of the listeners have sent in from even last season, when I asked what they wanted to talk about and things like that. And then just to the best of your ability, just go ahead and answer them, and I'll do the same. Okay? So the first question is, what does having a friend actually mean to you? So,
I think having a friend, what is the question?
So annoying. You sound like Gio from last episode. What does having a friend, like, what does it mean to your life?
Yeah, so, a friend to me means, someone that, I mean, like, having a friend is, I think, for me, is important, like, to have someone that can encourage you and, that is there for you, that...
I feel like you don't even know.
Wait. No, wait.
You don't know.
Are you asking me what a friend is, or are you asking me
what does a friend mean to you? Like, does having friends, like, make you feel... Like, because sometimes people need to have friends in order to feel, like...
I mean...
whole.
Yeah, I never want to feel like I need something to make me whole. Like, I feel like the only person that can make me whole is God. It's God. But it's good to have, you know, friendships that encourage you, that is there for you. I feel like a friend, what a friend means to me is that someone that is there for me, that encourages me. I think encouragement is key in a friendship. You know, I've experienced that, you know, with you. You've always encouraged me through so many things that I've gone through. So I think it just means someone that is always there for you, that you know, doesn't judge you, you know. So I think a friendship for me is important. Oh my God, you hear the booger in my throat.
Damn, this girl has mucus. She's sicker than I am. It's so tough. She's like swallowing like huge wads of spit.
You heard my voice?
Yeah. It's nasty. You're so gross. Get out of here, bro.
What the heck?
I don't know. I'm more sick than you. I can't breathe.
Anyways. So yeah.
That question, like,
we should
whatever. No, we're gonna keep it because this is funny.
You answer it then. So what does a friend
having
do to you?
Friends? What? This question is a little weird. Yeah, what does having a friend actually mean to me?
It's not like what is a friend? It's like what it means. It means.
You're right. This question is like, okay.
It means,
okay, let's just move on. Second question is, what qualities of a friend are most important to you? Okay, there we go.
Okay, so the qualities that are most important to me is honesty, somebody that's trustworthy. What I mean by trustworthy is like, somebody that you can tell anything to, and you know that they're not going to say anything. You know what I mean? Because there's some deep conversations that we've had.
Like, yeah.
And, stuff that you've told me that I've never told anybody. Stuff that I don't know, there's like don't tell anyone. Like,
we always do that. We always do that. I was like, don't tell me.
Not even your mom.
Not even your mom.
Not even Anthony.
I know.
Because,
And then I'll be like, not even your brother.
So, honesty, trustworthiness, someone that's encouraging, someone that is real. I think you work for me because you literally have no filter. Like, you literally tell me how it is.
Yeah.
Or you're just real. Somebody that's real, that wouldn't like lie to me. Like,
yeah.
Like, I sometimes, like I'll tell you something like, like this, and you'll tell me like, no, you should, like somebody that's real, that doesn't like lie to, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody that's real.
Somebody's real.
Somebody that is not like doesn't judge me. Like, I can be myself with
Yeah.
you. Like, you could be yourself to me. Like, sometimes we act like a fool. Like,
we do.
Like, we have no like filter when we're with each other.
Nope.
So yeah, I would say somebody that doesn't like, is not judging you. That you can be yourself around. What else? I think so. Trustworthiness, honesty, doesn't judge you. Someone that's encouraging, and I think those qualities.
Yeah, those are the qualities.
Those qualities for me that
same here. I agree. The same one. And then obviously one that loves God.
Oh,
just as much as you do.
Yes.
Because I feel like when you have friends that are non-believers, and we'll get into that later on with one of our questions, it's a little hard to kind of express like your love for God with your non, Christian friends, and it could be a little hard. It could be a little difficult, especially if you're a believer. Mm-hmm. You want to express yourself. You want to tell people, what God is doing in your life, and if they can't relate to you, it's really hard. Mm-hmm. The funny thing is that today I just sent you all this Instagram, this Instagram post. It says a study found that your meanest friend may be the one who loves you the most. Those who are harsh and honest may act that way, believing the impact of a negative emotion will benefit you in the long run. Mm-hmm. And that's funny. I send this to all my friends because they always say that I'm not mean. They don't say that I'm mean, but they say that I'm real. And sometimes I could be like rather harsh. Yeah. Yeah, it could be like really, yeah. Yeah, I could hurt people's feelings. So the funny thing is I saw this Uber thing, and it says like having like a friend that's harsh and mean is because they really, really love you.
It's like you're just, when you're in your moments, because you like, for me, oh my gosh, I know Ceci so well that in the mornings, like we've traveled together to sing, like, don't talk to Ceci in the morning, like, so it's like, it just depends on the moment. Like, there's moments that like she'll say stuff, but it's because of her.
It depends on the mood.
The moment.
Yeah.
So sometimes like things will get to her so fast that she'll say stuff, and then she'll just may hurt someone's feelings.
Yeah, I've hurt Nisha's feelings a few times.
Yeah. I hurt you without knowing. Like me, I'm more of like, I'll say something like randomly that I didn't know would offend you. So I'm more of a random. You're just like
I'm the bullet, bro. I hurt.
Because I remember you would get like mad at me.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I didn't mean. Like I I didn't mean it like that. It's stuff like that.
Anyways.
I don't know.
So everything that she just said, plus obviously believing in God and being real. I find like if someone's honest with me, like that's the best thing. Yeah. That's the best thing. So that's why I'm the honest one. Mm-hmm. And it's not that you're not honest.
Oh no.
It's just I'm like a little bit more harsh with my honesty. Exactly. So, and it's not just with my friends, it's with family. Yeah. Like I literally tell them. Yeah. Like straight out. I know. Like I don't care. I've witnessed. So that's I don't know. Anyways, the next question: do you prefer to have a few friends like that cultivate you deeply, or many friends with whom you can do different things? So you know how you can have like a whole bunch of friends and like you can do different things with, like tomorrow, like you know that like with Sally, I don't know why the heck I said Sally, but with Sally you can go shopping, or with like Megan you can go to like an EDC concert because she likes the same thing as you. Or would you rather have like a smaller crew who can like really cultivate your life and empower you?
I think for me, like, I think what works for me is small. Mm-hmm. Not that I don't talk to other people and have other friends. Like, I feel like there's a difference between like a friend and a friend. Yeah, I don't explain that. I can't. There's like.
But give an example. Say names, because we have the same amount of friends.
So like I wouldn't. Say
no, we have our same tight knit group. We have the same tight knit.
But group. like what works for me is small because I don't know. It works better because I feel like I can really be honest. Like I don't want to just be honest with everyone. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like not that I'm not honest with other people. It's just I don't know.
You're honest with me and the other two girls. They know who they are. Yeah. Like that's the tight knit. But then you have other friends which you say other information to, but they don't know everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
There's always like a base group that you can like always like.
For me, the base group works because it's just like a family. It's more of a family. I don't know how to explain it. Like I have other friends, you know, that I you know
you love and you cherish.
I cherish. They're amazing, but we're more like small is good for me because I don't know. It's just I can connect more. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel the same way. The funny thing is, like with the four of you.
3. Oh, 4. Yeah, 4. Yeah, it is 4.
With the 4 of you.
Shout out
to the 4.
The 4.
With the 4 of you. Well, I'll add another one. The 5 of you. I can do different things with. So like for you, I know you know everything about me. You're the main, like you know everything. But I feel like with you, I can, like if I need a good word, like if I need a good spiritual talk, like you understand what I'm saying? Like if I'm going through like anxiety or depression or whatever, which I have called you in times of like trouble, I know that I can call you and you like easily like jump, like you'll pray and you'll start like fasting and praying and like you know what I mean? Like you're like the spiritual girl, and not to like pinpoint you because you know everything about me, but I know that I can go for you for something very specific. That I know that I can go to you.
Yeah, like we've always said it though. Like you're the main. Like
you're the main
because like I don't know. I don't know. I love everyone. Yeah. But like you're just like the main. You know what I mean?
You're the main. And I think it's because of the amount of years that we've invested in our friendship as well. But honestly, like I know that I can go to you for like a good word. Like a good word, and I'm like, I know Nisha like got me. Then like with one, I know I can fashion and like marketing and you know, social media and like planning.
And that person makes you feel like she's always like complimenting.
So you feel
good. And
and I'm not saying that the other girls don't do that, but that's like when I hang with her, it's like you know, you feel good about yourself. This is weird, me saying that, but I'm serious. Like there's one that you always go to for a specific thing, and then there's another one that
it's
hilarious, ghetto, and you can tell her anything.
Yeah,
and
she's real. She reminds me of Ceci.
She's the Spanish version of me. And we say that with all of our heart, mind, and soul, because it's true. She's like me, but she's like my ghetto. Like, this is not the girl you want to take out to like a place filled with like minorities, because she will call everyone out. Like, she's really bad. But and then we have our therapist, who's our all around girl, and we love her. And she's the one where she will listen. Yeah. And she will not say anything. Yeah. And she will just listen to you. Mm-hmm. And then at the very end, she'll be like, well, I think that you need to do this and this. Or, she's very attention to detail. So it's like, I feel the same way. I feel like a tight-knit group is better. And like, honestly, at my age, I don't have other friends. You guys are all I have. Mm-hmm. You, because you're a worship leader and like, you have like a lot of people around you. Mm-hmm. For you, you're kind of like, you kind of have both. You kind of have a lot of friends, but then you have your main group. Mm-hmm. Me, I only have my main group. Mm-hmm. I don't have a lot of friends. And I think that has to deal with like trust, because like, I don't want to tell, like, I don't know, I just feel like, I don't mean to be territorial, but I just like my group of friends. Mm-hmm. I just like my group. And like, I know that this group is the lifelong group. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm always open to make more friends. And this is the thing. I don't want people to think like, oh my God, Ceci, she has this benevolence, but she doesn't want to have friends.
Like,
no, that's not
you gotta be careful.
Yeah. Like, I'm very like, one thing you'll get to know me is that I'm very observant. Like, I just don't open up to people.
Just like meet with me.
Yeah,
look at us now.
I know, seriously. So like, I'm observant. I observe you. I get to know you a little bit. And then from there, I'll kind of base out if I want to pursue a friendship with you or not. I'm just like that. I can't help it. But anyways, yeah. I have a tight-knit group, and I like to keep it that way. It's possible. Yeah. So if you have a lot of friends, it's okay to have a lot of friends. Mm-hmm. Just make sure that those friends are empowering you, encouraging you, are genuine, are loyal, are trustworthy, are all of that.
Exactly.
Because you don't want to have
a lot of friends that are fake.
Exactly. That's the worst to have. All right. So here's that famous question. Ready? Okay. As believers, how can we maintain friendships with unbelievers in school, in work, etc.?
How can we maintain it?
Yes. So let's say the person has recently become a believer.
Okay.
Right? How can they maintain those friendships with...
Okay, so somebody that just became a believer and they were friends with,
Yeah, they're still trying to maintain friendships with their unbelievers, and then, how can they maintain that?
I mean, I think it's possible to maintain, but it's probably not going to be the same. Oh, yeah. The rhyme. It's possible to maintain. It's possible to maintain, but it's probably not going to be the same like it was before. Yeah. Because, you're obviously doing things differently. You're going to church. You're not going to the clubs anymore. You know what I mean? So I think the way you can maintain it is maybe conversating with them, letting them know like, hey, like, I'm trying to make a change, bettering myself. I'm sure they'll probably find out that you're going to church, and maybe just explain to them like, hey, like, I just started going to church, and maybe kind of also inviting them to church, because maybe like conversating with them and letting them know where you're at, and hopefully they'll have an understanding, and you can still hang out with them, but you probably won't be able to do stuff you've done with them before. Yeah,
I actually know someone who has recently become a believer, and she still has, she still maintains a great friendship with her best friends, and I think that she actually spoke to them, if I'm not mistaken, and they understand that she has become a believer, and that she's changing her lifestyle and stuff like that. And those that understand and they respect, but they still maintain friendships with you, and they don't put you in positions where where you have to jeopardize what you believe in.
Exactly.
Those are the friends that you need to maintain around yourself, because those are the true friends. Because
and hopefully, in the long
and hopefully through your actions, through your lifestyle, through your through your testimony, you can begin to start sowing seeds into their lives because of your life change, and I've seen it. I've seen it with this particular person. So it's possible to maintain friendships with unbelievers, but they have to come to an understanding that you've made this life change, and that you believe in God and you believe in Jesus, and you're not gonna run the same way anymore. You know what I mean?
Possible.
And if they believe it, and they don't push you to do the old things again, and they still have genuine friendships with you, then those are the people that you need to keep around. And hopefully, through time, they'll start to see, see Jesus through you. And that's the best thing. So it's possible. It's possible. You just have to be very careful. Yeah, you have to be very careful. That's good. Now, a next one is, how can you address a friend who has lost your trust? Ooh, you.
Me?
Yeah. Go ahead and talk about how you lost trust in me because I hurt you. So how could you address a person?
I don't know if it'll be if I lost trust, but I guess it is trust, because not that I feel like it wasn't trust. It was like, wow, this girl literally played me. You played me. You know what I mean?
I did.
You did play me.
I did,
because we're like super close, and then
from one day to the next,
boom.
I literally dumped her, like in a relationship sense.
Yeah,
I dumped Nisha without any type of warning.
And no warning.
It was like night and day.
And now that I remember, it was because of a situation. Yeah. But it wasn't because of me.
No. The funny thing is, I know that you weren't ever. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But still, I had to heal.
Yeah.
This is hilarious. I'm sorry, guys.
Right now.
I'm sorry. We can't get into it, but we know what it. We know the true.
So addressing. Okay. So I don't remember exactly how we did that, but I think maybe to tell someone else how you can is, okay, first of all, you have to ask yourself, are you willing to get in that friendship again? Like, is it worth it to get in that friendship? You know what I mean? Because you don't want to just, okay, like, I forgive you and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? What are the, I looked at your qualities. I knew that wasn't you.
Yeah.
When you were hanging out with them, like, I knew, because I know you.
Yeah.
I know who you really are. So I knew that Ceci that you were was not you. You know what I mean? So, and kind of like evaluate, okay, if you're seeing that with them, she's a totally different person, and you know who that person really is, maybe like kind of the pros and cons. You know what I mean? Look at the pros and look at the cons. And so I would kind of do that, and then I would also tell them how I felt. Like, I remember I told you how I felt, and then you asked for forgiveness. You seemed very remorseful. If someone's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," that's it. And like, yeah. But you as long as they're like really remorseful about what they did, they admit that they were wrong, and forgiveness is key, and I believe in forgiveness.
Yeah.
Like, if anybody believes in forgiveness, it's me. So just kind of see the pros and cons. Ask yourself, is it worth it? And then, as long as they're remorseful and they seem like they're really trying to change for the better, like there's like putting effort into the friendship. I felt like you were doing that, and because it wasn't. I don't remember if it was just like boom or if it was. I think it was gradual. It wasn't like right away.
It was gradual.
It wasn't right.
Yeah. And just recently this year, even though we were good, we're so good. We're good. We're at a great place right now. But even earlier this year, in February, we were still at a good place.
Yeah, but in friendships, you have to be careful, because you can feel like, okay, we've been friends for so long.
Yeah.
that there would be things that would happen that we would like push aside because, you know, you're my girl, like, you're my friend, you know what I mean? You're my sister. You're not even like a friend, you're my sister. Yeah. So sometimes you gotta be careful with that because one day it could be explosive.
No, yeah. And we didn't explode.
We didn't explode.
It was a nice environment, first of all, where we started talking about it. And I don't know who started it, but I just know that we had to reevaluate our friendship in February. And it wasn't like in terms of like separating or not. It was funny, just, we're like separation. I know, but it's, you know, it wasn't like that. We had to hit some points that we were overlooking for years. Because I'll be honest, like I always felt that like I always felt like I was like looking after you. Like, and that was the big thing. I felt like I was always like, oh, I had to take care of you. Like I don't know. I just felt like I always, since you're younger than me, I always felt like I had that like, and it wasn't like it wasn't fun having to take care of you. I felt like I had to deal with it, and it became a burden.
Yeah, and then with Sepsi, she would do things in front of people that hurt me, and I didn't say anything because I'm always she sees the good in everyone, and I'll just ignore it. But it came to the point that without her knowing, she was doing these things in front of people that I'm sure people were like what the heck? She treats her like butt. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what I mean about the harsh.
Yeah, but she
I was that harsh friend.
Coming to know is that she's just always, she says things without the intention of hurting somebody. It's just more of like helping them, but it could come across as like hurting them.
Yes. And that's something that we've been dealing with for so long that it took until that day. Yeah, that we actually.
I told you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I sat down. I was like, Ceci, I have to talk to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and she was surprised.
Yeah, I was surprised.
But then you cried, I cried.
Yeah, we were crying in the middle of like and you were thousands
like, I'm sorry.
of girls.
And I'm like, I'm sorry too. You know, so that's why it's so good. I think it's good to like constantly
be real and be honest with each other. You know what I mean? And if something really
even
hurts,
if you guys been friends for so long, like still talk about it. Still, because then imagine if we would have never talked about it.
Yeah, because that grows like something inside of you, and then eventually it's not good.
I really think it was great.
It was good. It was a healing process for us.
It really was.
Because I had always felt some type of way with Nisha, and I'm like, I just want you to be you, and like I want to get rid of that burden of having to look after you, because I feel like I always had to, because like if you know Nisha, she could just be like not aware of certain things. So I feel like I always had to be like, Nisha, like watch this, like Nisha, okay. And like I hate that. Like I just want to enjoy Nisha and not have to feel like I'm taking care of her, you know. And that's what was bothering me. And then she was getting hurt by things that I was saying to her in front of other people, and it wasn't it was how I was saying it. It was like very rude and very harsh, and I would embarrass her, and she would just like, okay, and she'll just move on, and like, she wouldn't tell me.
In friends, like, you want to be yourself. You don't want to have to change for anybody. So I felt like I had to be somebody else, so she wouldn't say anything. Yeah, and like I want to be me. Like I want to be the goofy self. If sometimes like you could be talking to me and like I you know, how do I depitao? Like English.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I don't know.
You know, and
like a little airheaded
a little bit. So, you know, so it was just like I want to be me. You know, I don't want to like, you know what I mean? It's more than that. It's just long story. So, anyways, the point is that you have to tell each other how you feel. Yeah, always. And that was a healing process for us, for sure. It's not that we needed to heal, like, it wasn't like this.
But it was something that we need to address.
And
believe it. And ever since, it's been so good.
Like, I think I've improved so much.
Yeah, so have I. Yeah. Like, I just, you know, sometimes I have to, like, catch myself sometimes. But I think that I've calmed down a lot.
Yeah. Like, and I'm more, like, aware, like, like, of things, so, yeah.
This is funny. You guys are hilarious. Like, not you guys, listeners, but this is funny because as we're talking about this, like, believe it or not, like, we're like rebuilding again.
Exactly.
You know, or just adding more to our friendship. Yeah. We're not rebuilding. We're just adding more. It's just funny. And then the last question, is it okay for my best friend to be the opposite sex? Yeah, that one's a tough one. Like, I'll be honest, I've had some guy friends that were my best friends, and I still do. But now I'm married, so it's a different season. It's a different like dynamic. But when I was single, I had best friends.
You gotta be careful when you're single.
And you have to be careful having best friends as a male or a female.
Yeah.
Because what tends to happen is you start to have feelings for them, regardless. And regardless, it doesn't matter. Yeah. I feel like it doesn't even matter if you know you would never get with your best friend. Like, there's still always that little like mustard seed of like. Yeah.
For me, it's a little different because my brother has a bunch of friends that became my friends because we hang out with them. So they became more of like brothers than friends.
Yeah. Because you were always with them,
you know? So, I mean, I would say just being careful especially when you're single. And even when you're married, you gotta be careful too.
Oh, of course.
You know?
No, absolutely.
Because you never know, you know, like, not that it would happen, but you just gotta be careful. You don't want to be around so many guys when you're married. It's just
no, right. And that doesn't happen now, guys. Yeah. Trust me.
No. And like with you, it's like literally,
excuse me,
like family. Like any guys that you hang out with, they're family.
Yeah. And they're already friends with Anthony.
Anthony, yeah.
So that's just I don't know. I don't recommend it.
Yeah, me neither.
But it does happen. But just be careful.
It might be possible.
It's possible.
I haven't experienced it.
I just know that every time I had a best friend, it was just hard. Like, it was always something.
Yeah, just like, oh wow, like, you look at them differently.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful.
Yeah, no, you gotta be careful. All right, so we finished with our questions. I have like a lot more to say, and I'll say it soon, but I wanted to talk about some of our maybe hilarious moments that we've had together in the last 11 years. I wanted to talk about it because it's funny. Yeah. Like, what Nisha and I have gone through is hilarious. Like, we have some like funny moments in our lives. And the funny thing is that Nisha always brings it up in all of our parties or whenever we're together. So I figured, okay, let's talk about it on Benevolence. So it's like set in stone. Yeah. And we'll just like find the episode and we'll just let people hear the episode. But we wanted to talk about, or Nisha's the best storyteller ever.
Wait, you have to tell me which one. I'm going to say the Olive Garden one. But what was another?
No, I'm thinking just the ones that we sang, where we sang together.
Oh, we got to say that one.
Yeah.
Oh, but you explained it better. The singing one you explained.
Okay, but the Olive Garden one wasn't that funny.
It was hilarious to me, but we won't say that one. It was hilarious.
Okay, well, we had an Olive Garden situation, and she just busted out laughing in front of this waiter guy that had a very, very heavy accent.
Like, really
and it was very embarrassing because it was just me and her having dinner, and she just starts busting out laughing
like
when
crying.
When she hears his
I
accent.
Felt so bad.
It was like a French. It was like
it was really. It
wasn't even
French.
It was very.
It was a different accent.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know Arabic or something, but it was very, very difficult to understand, and I had to freaking compose myself and lie and say, "Oh, she read something on her phone or she saw something on TV or whatever."
I felt so bad, like,
because every time he would come by, she busted out laughing.
It's so hard to not laugh at things. So it wasn't like because of him. It was just a situation. I don't know,
but that was one. But there was another time. Well, Nisha and I, if you don't know this, but Nisha and I, we worship together in our local church, and we have done some like acapella. We have acapella moments.
Yeah,
especially for Christmas before Anthony. Before I got married, we had a lot of these like Christmas moments where we would just sing acapella for the church and all of that. And like one of them, we were singing "Oh Holy Night," and we were with Nisha's brother and our friend Angel, and we were doing "Oh Holy Night," and we practiced.
And we practiced. It was amazing.
It was amazing, yo. We sounded legit. It was awesome. But then
I think Ceci's nerves went to her that she started the the song in a different, like a higher key.
So I had to sing. We were singing "Oh Holy Night."
So she's you know, she was supposed to start at a little like lower because the original key that we were practicing was perfect because the harmonies would sound great, but she actually started in a higher key. So she starts the song and she's singing, and then we're harmonizing, and in my mind I'm like, wow, this is really high.
Yeah.
And then we're singing the song, and then what's the high part?
Wasn't it fall on your knees?
Okay, so the chorus. So all of a sudden I'm
the thing is, we have two other guys singing with us, and one is tenor and one is bass, and the song was so high
that they were singing.
They stopped singing.
They were singing alto, and I was singing soprano.
This is in front of a church of 2,000 members.
Singing like,
I was so like high. So high soprano, and the two guys, they had to stop singing.
So this is all happening. Like, I just remember Ceci stopped singing. Then,
the only one left singing.
Then Angelito stopped singing. Then Hector stopped because it was so high. And then it's just me by myself.
It's just Nisha by herself.
I'm like, what was the
right?
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm singing soprano.
All you said was divine.
And then,
oh no.
All night divine.
Yeah.
And then, but it was, I was singing like, so, like I'm an alto. So I was singing so high. I just remember everybody stopped singing. And then I literally at the end, I was so embarrassed. Like Ceci was like she looked like she was about to cry on stage.
Yeah.
And then we all had our head down, and I just said,
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, man. And you had to be there. It was funnier in person, but one of the top funniest things that ever happened in my life.
Still bring it up. Well, you still bring it up to this day. Hilarious. Like I feel like our friends have heard that story hundreds of times, but from our friendship, that was the top most embarrassing moment of our lives, because it was live. It was like a cappella, and it was my fault because I started a higher key.
And you bawled.
And I cried so much. And everybody was like, no, you did great. And I was like, no, I ruined it.
And then Pastor Nino, our pastor, comes on stage and he goes, tremendo. Like, we knew he was lying.
Yeah.
What is that? And that means like awesome. It's like awesome.
So that was like our top. And then we've had other moments. We've had a lot of other moments. But I just wanted to like end this whole conversation with like a funny moment. So anyways, to kind of like recap and kind of like conclude the episode, you know, friendships are important to have. And maybe you're in a season in which you may need to reflect and ask God to take away any friendships that may be a hindrance to your life. And ask God to bring people into your life that edify, empower, and support you. In Proverbs 13:20, it says, "He who walks with the wise grows wise, but a companion of fools suffers harm."
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, I just want to be surrounded by people who push me to be the best version of myself. Sure. And like I've said this last season, I don't know what episode I said it, but by the end of the day, by the end of the night, when you're walking away from your friends, when you say goodnight to them, if you feel empowered, if you feel less stressed, if you feel happy, if you're ready to go on with your day, then you know that you're around the right people. But if you leave your group of friends exhausted mentally, physically, because you've been fake the whole time, or you feel so down, or you feel like you're in a competition and, you know, you're comparing yourself to other people, those are definitely the people that you don't want to be around with. So, you know, think about those moments. So, you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree.
So, in light of Thanksgiving Day coming up this week, I'd like to thank you, Nee, from the bottom of my heart, for being not only a great friend, but an amazing sister. And your loyalty and support for the past 11 years are what has kept me going, especially in time where I felt so insecure and defeated. So you always see the good in everything and in anyone, and that is what makes you one of a kind. So if you know Nisha, to my listeners out there, you know that she is an amazing friend, an amazing an amazing person with an amazing purpose, because this girl is gonna do great things. Like, she's already doing great things, and just Like, watch out, people, because she is amazing. So just know that I will always be here for you, and I love you.
I love
you.
you.
I love you too. Give me a hug.
Can I say something about you? Sissy, I just want to say I'm so thankful for your life. You have been more than a friend to me. You've been my sister, and you are encouraging. You believe in me. You always, like, I never have to be anybody else but me around you. And I am so proud of you. Like, I'm so happy that I was honored to be your maid of honor at your wedding, to be your daughter's godmother. Like, you are family. Like, you are, I don't know, you're just everything to me. Like, I just love you so much, and I don't know what life would be if I didn't have you in my life. Like, for real. Like, same. You are so special to me, and I really believe that God has brought us together for a reason, and I am so excited to see what the future holds for you. I know it's going to be amazing, and you're going to bless so many people's lives with this podcast, and you're already doing it.
Amen. Thank you. I love you. Thank you, Nisha. So make sure to follow Nisha on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Go ahead and tell people your... So
my Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. My Facebook is Janeesha Ilarraza, and my Instagram and Twitter are Janeesha_E. Janeesha is JANEESHA_E.
Good. And if you didn't catch any of that, you can always go to my page, and I always... That's so dumb. If you didn't catch any of that, you can always go to my page, and I usually tag the special guests. So just tag and follow and whatever, subscribe or whatever. I love you, bro. So this girl, she's working on some things.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
So stay tuned, because she needs to put herself out there.
Glory to God, whatever God wants.
Do it. And thank you all for listening to Benevolence, where kindness matters and all are welcome to the table. Did you know that Benevolence has its own Instagram? All you have to do is search Benevolence Podcast, and you can follow me at Benevolence Podcast, or I am Ceci Diaz, to know a little bit about me and Benevolence. If there is a topic that you would like for me to discuss in the future, please do not hesitate to email me at benevolencepodcast@gmail.com with requests, petitions, questions, comments, or testimonials. I want to hear from you. Guys, I am so grateful for each and every one of you who have supported me on this journey of benevolence. Each and every one of you have a place in my heart. Benevolence could not happen without your love and support. And I hope you all have a blessed Thanksgiving Day, and I love you all. And stay tuned for next Monday's episode of Benevolence. You don't want to miss it. Bye.
Bye, everyone. God bless.